tablet magazine in May last year, during the beginning of the conflict between Israel and Hamas, and or not the beginning of the conflict, but a rise in activity, and I gave it a controversial title, and a lot of people were very unhappy about it, and a lot of people really related to it, and I wanted to unpack it and understand what it meant. So I called this article the Social Media Pogrom. And it stemmed from a conversation I was having with an old friend of mine who is an educator and has worked in the realm of anti-Semitism for the past 20 years. And I was talking about what was happening to us online, and the internet in its current iteration, as it affects all of our lives and lives in our pockets and dictates to us where we go in the morning and what we're doing in the evening, it's taken over our lives in a way that we can't live without it. And this is the first time in history that Jews have dealt with a conflict that challenges our land and our nation, not just our nationhood, but our identity on a global scale, because it then manifests. The conversation manifests as such in the mainstream media that all of us are feeling the heat wherever we are in the diaspora. I thought to myself, well, if the internet is a fundamental part of our lives, and it's not just this thing that lives on a laptop, and it's a place where we all commune and socialize, then really, if pogroms were happening in physical spaces to expel Jews, is this thing that's happening to us online basically like a digital pogrom? Because we're being erased, our accounts are being attacked, they're being taken down. Jews cannot proliferate a challenge to the narrative in mainstream media. All of our posts that explain what Zionism is, they are all being taken down for violating community guidelines, but they're not violent, there's just facts. So what's happening here? This is really strange. This feels like we are being actively erased and expelled from online platforms. So people saw the social media pogrom, and the way that online discourse works is, you think that being cancelled on Twitter is as bad as your ancestors being forced out of their homes and villages in Poland. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I said is we have to look at the social phenomenon of what's happening now and understand it in the context of history. It's really important, because what we have as Jews is a repeated pattern of behavior that, fortunately or unfortunately, has impacted us through every generation. And it's in understanding that we can predict how endangered we are right now and what we have to do about it. And that's what I've chosen to use my platform to do, is to wake Jews up in many ways. And that's, so to answer your question, that article did break through the noise because it shook people. And for some people, it was something they really wanted to hear, and for some people, it was really something they didn't, but it created a new conversation.